Today, people who have an interest in the environment and access to justice in environmental matters gathered to give their input in the process of formulating a strategic plan to implement the Escazu Agreement. Minister of Sustainable Development, Orlando Habet, says there will be consultations after this stage.
The consultation process now will really begin with the roadmap being established, because it is a strategic plan. So the strategic plan is that roadmap. So now you get the different communities, the different NGOs, CBOs, and all stakeholders who have an interest, indigenous groups and people from different races, whatever it is, that have an interest and should have an interest, because they also have the right, so that we can have something that, as I said, very comprehensive, very meaningful for Belize.
During the event, Yaya Marion Coleman from the UBAD Educational Fund sat in protest on the grounds that all relevant organizations should have been included in the process from this inception stage. Ruth Spencer is a community activist from Antigua and Barbuda. She supports the involvement of the NGOs that stand up against developments that threaten the environment.
Unless the people become empowered and take this Escazu Agreement in their hands and move forward with it, that's where the power is. The power is in the people. When Principle 10 was the name before Escazu Agreement, it came out of the 1992 Rio Summit, because the governments realized they alone don't have all the answers when it comes to environmental matters. So one of the principles that came out of the Rio Summit was Principle 10, which said stakeholders must be engaged in the process. And look how long it takes for the Escazu Agreement to be signed, almost 20-something years. And this is the roadmap. The roadmap that's being discussed today is for this greater stakeholder engagement. If that doesn't happen, it's just going to be something, on paper.
Minister Habet explained that invitations have been sent out countrywide to those organizations, and their input will be welcomed as soon as the consultancy phase, paid for by the Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean, ECLAC, is completed. Habet adds that people who feel they are at risk of suffering severely from climate change and that they have been excluded have a chance to take part in the process and have a say in how developments in Belize proceed.
We have to involve the issues of economics, the issues of the social issues, and also the environmental issues. This is not only about climate change per se, because climate change is a political issue, and it is a lot of it we know is man-made. But how do we now look at the environment per se, our ecosystems, our forests? How do we protect those? And then looking at the environmental justice of how do we protect those people who are the defenders of nature and of the environment. So we have, for example, already pieces of legislation like the Freedom of Information Act, which is crucial. And then we have other policies that are in place for climate change. The National Biodiversity, the Forest Department has different policies that guide and assist us.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Marion Ali.